Film in Ghita di Sardegna, 7ª edizione, 3ª giornata, una giornata intensa. Ragazzi, io vi ringrazio moltissimo perché è una maratona di conversazioni da questa mattina, quindi grazie a tutti gli studenti che sono qui, grazie al professor Arcangeli, grazie all'Università di Cagliari, ma grazie anche a tutti gli studenti che sono connessi con noi. Thank you so much today to be here. This is the 3rd day, and we have also 23 schools connected with us in all Italy. You know, Milano, Naples, Lecce, you know, all the school of theater and cinema. And today I'm very, very proud because I'm a big fan to have here, you know, one really great actor. Ladies and gentlemen, Mat Bomer. Thank you also Jacopo Mosca that will do the conversation.
Thank you, Tiziana.
Thank you, Tiziana.
Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
Jacopo.
As an introduction, we would like you to tell the students how did you realize you wanted to pursue this career? When did you realize you wanted to be an actor?
Well, first of all, thank you to everyone for being here. It's an honor to be here at this festival. Tiziana, thank you for having me. Thank you for showing up today. Does everybody understand English? Yeah. Okay. Probably a lot better than I understand Italian. When did I first, I think when I was young, I always had a really active imagination and was really interested in acting, storytelling, all those things. And then in 6th grade, when I was maybe, I guess, 12, they had an elective at my school to do theater arts. And it was basically an improv class. And so I studied in that. And then I started working in the theater professionally when I was 18. And then I got a scholarship to art school and just thought I would do theater for the rest of my life. And then it ended up going in multiple directions. So
you are one of a kind actor. You can do everything, and you can also you also love musical. You like to sing. This is something that
I'm not a great dancer. I try, but I'm not that great.
But this is something very, very important for in US and in UK. Of course, to be a complete actor, you must be also a musical performer, a singer. How did you ever train, or you have talent since you were a kid, or did you improve your singing, studying during your life?
Well, I taught myself to sing. This is a really interesting chair, by the way. I can,
you cannot be comfortable. You can try everything, but you cannot be comfortable.
I'm just going to sit up straight. Yeah, so I kind of taught myself to sing. Thankfully, I had a very patient family who didn't mind me singing in the shower a lot. I sang in I was really bad at first, but I would always practice in the shower for like an hour at a time, and my family just endured it. And then I started singing in kind of rock and roll bands and wedding bands and things like that when I was a teenager. And then I entered in my choir at school, you could enter a solo competition, and then I won one of those. And from that, I got a voice teacher. And so that prepared me for college, and then at college I got a proper voice training.
You starred in a huge TV series. You won a lot of awards. Do you think that the new golden age of the TV series is going to end now? I mean, it started at the end of the 90s, this new wave of incredible series with huge scripts and huge actors that completely changed the way we felt the TV series, that were something completely different before The Sopranos and before Breaking Bad. Do you think that now something is changing again, and the big screen, the big silver screen is going to be again at the first place in an actor's career, or maybe not?
I think it really depends. I think the nature of the industry is that it's always changing, and that we're always saying, oh no, this is the end of an era, this is going to be, and it's just, you have to just adapt. You have to stay adaptable to all of it and sort of evolve with it as it goes, and not try to be recalcitrant or fight it. And it's always when you try to fight against it that I feel like it starts to work against you. But I don't know. I think it's a really exciting time in that there is enough episodic and enough streaming platforms that people can really be hyper specific about the kind of shows and the kind of content they want to watch. So it may be less a smaller audience ultimately for a show, but it will be a much more concentrated, tuned in, focused, attentive audience because they are seeking out that type of content. We have so much more control over what we view now. We're not just left to kind of pick between the 10 things that are out there. So, but I think it's also a great time, you know, an exciting time in the industry where you can go from doing episodic to film to, you know, last year I did Maestro and I did Fellow Travelers in the same time span, but right before that I'd done Broadway. So it's a nice time where you can go between theater, film, TV. It doesn't really matter. I do think the nature of how we view cinema and go and pay to go see a movie is really changing. I don't know where that's going to go. Maybe just fewer multiplexes with one, you know, IMAX screen at the center of it all. But we'll have to see. You know, I don't know.
As an actor, do you follow a specific method, maybe the method with a capital M? I mean, do you still believe that an actor should follow a specific method to study and to be completely in a character?
Well, method acting is a term that I'm sure you all know this, but it's a term that's kind of misused because it all really came from the group theater, where they sort of studied the Moscow art model from Stanislavski. I'm a Stanislavski trained actor, but you have the Stella Adler School, then you have a couple of the Harold Clurman, and then I can't remember the third teacher who branched off from that. But basically there were 3 branches that came off of that. What we think of now today as the method is really started with Robert De Niro when he did, I want to say maybe it was Taxi Driver, but he studied with Stella Adler.
And Raging Bull.
All that, yeah. But he studied with Stella Adler, and it was just he brought a new level of physical and full body commitment, full lifestyle commitment to it, and then people have kind of piggybacked on, like Daniel Day-Lewis and folks like that. To me, it's really whatever. I've worked with all different kinds of actors. I've worked with people who never break. I've done jobs where I never break. It depends on how the set works. It depends on who you're collaborating with. I don't care what the style is, as long as it doesn't alienate you from anybody else or make their experience uncomfortable or hard to collaborate with. I can kind of work anyway, and I like working all different kinds of ways, you know.
You spoke about Bob De Niro. I'd like you to name us a couple of actors that really influenced you, maybe when you were younger, to a couple of actors that you really admired.
Well, Montgomery Clift would be one. Marlon Brando, James Dean, all the old great actors from the studio theater. Paul Newman.
These names are all Lee Strasberg. I mean, method.
So yeah, Lee Strasberg. That's the other teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, Lee Strasberg was very much about psychology.
Okay.
But no, Marlon Brando studied with Stella Adler.
Okay.
Paul Newman was from the Actors Studio,
Yeah.
Lee Strasberg, and I think Dean did maybe a little bit of both. I'm not really sure, but. Yeah, it just depends. What to me was just so striking was just the way they were such renegades, the level of realism they were bringing to the material, and you almost felt like the first time you watched them act, like they had just stumbled onto the set and you were watching a documentary or something because it was so realistic. So I think that's really interesting. And then who are the folks I really like Ryan Gosling. I like working with him. I like him as a person. I like the way he works. Russell Crowe, I like a lot. I worked with them both on one movie, and they both have totally different styles, but it all played well together, you know, so.
I got another question about TV series.
Kate Blanchett is another really great one.
She's great. Another question about TV series. Do you ever feel, do you think there is the risk to be trapped in some characters, playing them for like 5, 6 seasons, or maybe 7 seasons, as it sometimes happens. Sometimes longer, and when it happens, and when the character you're playing is very successful as an actor, how do you go out from that? How do you free yourself from that character to play something new? Because people want to see that again.
When I did White Collar, it was so funny because everybody just assumed that I was like that character or like that person.
Obviously, I was talking about White Collar.
Yeah,
I didn't say
no,
that.
and I grew up very blue collar, so it was the great irony of my life that I did a show called White Collar. But then all the offers that come into you from the industry are, oh, here we have a great movie about a con artist, and you can do this project about a con artist. So I kept getting offered the same role again and again and again. So I think if you have the luxury of choice, part of it is if you can afford to make the choice to be able to say no to the things that would just be a repetition of the same role, and then hope that there are people out there who believe in you and who will give you the opportunity to take a risk on you and let you show a different side of yourself as an actor. And I've just been really very lucky over the years that I've had a lot of great directors and writers and collaborators who believed in me and saw things in me that I maybe didn't even see in myself, or that I'd certainly never done before, and they just took a risk on me and gave me a chance to do different types of roles.
How do you choose a new project? What comes? What's the thing you look most on a new script when you read it for the first time, when you're asked to play someone?
Well, I have 3 kids who have to pay for school and life and everything, so there can be a lot of different reasons. But if you're talking about purely as an artist, what are my reasons? I would say it's a really visceral response that I get when I read material, and it's usually always obviously in response to the writing, but usually it's something in the character that just engages me from the beginning, that I can kind of see or feel in myself, but then it also scares me because I don't know if I can do it or not. So I need it to be just outside of my comfort zone, or way outside of my comfort zone. Oh, I got a little buggy. And then that to me is exciting to me. I like that fear of not knowing if I'm going to be able to do it or not.
Avete delle domande? Ecco, ce ne sono molte. Cominciamo a far girare il microfono.
Hi, Matt. My name is Arianna. It's such a pleasure to have you here. It's like a dream. It's always so hard not to cry when I talk about you.
Let's breathe together. We'll take some deep breaths together, or I'll start crying too. Okay.
Of course, I watched Fellow Travelers. It's a series that somehow changed my life. The reason why I'm here is also because of that. It's somehow a start of being a fan of you, which is kind of late, but it's never too late, I guess. My question is about Fellow Travelers. The 2 characters that you and Jonathan Bailey played, they somehow also helped so many people in coming out. I've seen like the fandom is so close, and I'm part of that, of course. And it's so close that it changed people's way of seeing also the coming out, and to find a way to express themselves. So my question is there's anything that Hawk taught you? Because personally, like Hawk is a character that sometimes it can be also seen as a bad character because of how he made Skippy feel. But I also see so much inside of him, the fact that he didn't really find the time to express himself. So my question is there anything that he taught you? Because personally he told me that it's never too late to be yourself, also to your close ones. The final scene is just insane because the way he finds the time to express his love for Tim somehow, and also to his daughter, but also Tim himself. I guess I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. But yeah, this is the question.
Wow. I mean, yeah, first of all, it was so nice to get to play a gay anti-hero because you never see them. Typically, most of the LGBTQ characters that we get to see are, they're either long-suffering or they're the victim or something like that. So it was nice to play someone who had, even though some of his motives might have been questionable, really took agency in his own life and was a rebel and was an iconoclast and really had his own love language that was very complicated and had a lot of very severe boundaries. Obviously, the cost to that. So I would say what I learned from him was twofold. It's kind of both the things you mentioned. It's to not be afraid to be a renegade, to not be afraid to go against the system if it's what you have to do to survive and thrive and live the life you want. But at the same time, don't go so far down that road that your heart closes, that you can't have the experience of real, authentic love, you know?
Hi, Matt. It's for me too a great pleasure to see you. I'm excited too. Thank you for letting me doing this question. Thank you so much. You're amazing. You're one of my favorite actors ever. And my question is, in your opinion, has fellow travel changed the way the cinematic industry sees the, I don't know if I can say LGBT community or world? And second, this is a really silly question, sorry for that, but I really need to know who is the best hugger between Jonathan Bailey and Jim Parsons, because you just acted with two of my favorite actors ever, and you two are one of the best ones, so you are so lucky, and them are so lucky to act with you. Thank you so much, you're amazing.
Thank you so much. Where are you from, by the way?
Sardinia.
Oh, nice.
There.
Are you from Sardinia as well? Nice. It's my first time on Sardinia. I love it. I actually flew into the north and then I drove down to the south, which was really scary. Because it was a stick shift. I hadn't driven a stick shift in years. Anyway, back to your question. I love working with both of those actors. They're both actually, they have a lot of similar qualities. I think they're both really committed to their characters. I think they're both really present in the moment, rarely do things the same way, so they give you a lot to respond off of. I think they both make the actors around them better. And I think they're both just top-tier talent. In terms of the industry, I don't know. It's such a weird time because my only concern was, my hope was that we were able to do some justice to the story and let the project be a success, because I wanted to make sure that other people who came after me had an opportunity to tell their stories and get their projects greenlit. But then, of course, we ran into this huge strike where everything in the industry kind of came to a screeching halt in some regards. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see what happens, and if this does open the door for more LGBTQ themed projects. I hope it does. That was always my hope. And we'll have to see, but I'm just grateful that we were able to get it made. I don't think we would have gotten the project made today. People have been really, budget-wise, just kind of pulling back. And you know, when you do a period piece, especially one that covers 4 different decades, it's very expensive to do. So we were very fortunate that we got in when we did and got a chance to get it made.
Hello. I would love to know if you would like to work with an Italian director or if you would like to work here in Sardinia, maybe filming a movie. Would you love to do this?
Yes, is the short answer. Was that my microphone or yours? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yes to all those questions. I would love to work in Italy. I would definitely need to work on my Italian. I can speak Spanish, but I can't speak Italian. But yeah, all of those things would be really appealing to me. It'd be fun to do a Western in Sardinia. Didn't they used to do a lot of Westerns here? Like in the western side of the island, maybe? That's what I heard. Let's bring it back, y'all. Come on. One of y'all write a script, let's do it.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Please.
Hi, Matt. I'm Valentina. I am a huge fan of your work and also the work of Ryan Murphy. And he is one of my favorite directors. I've seen you in Glee, The Normal Heart, American Horror Story. So how was it to work with the same director, but on so many different characters? Is it easier for you, or did you find many differences between you and Ryan Murphy visions on your characters?
Well, I think I've worked with Ryan maybe 6 or 7 times now, but he's only directed me in 2 of those projects. So oftentimes it's just him, taking a risk on me as an actor and giving me an opportunity with a different director. I love working with him as a director, though. I think he is a tremendous director because he has such an incredible knowledge of pop culture and architecture and art and design and all the things you need, all the references you need. And he loves movies, he loves stars, he loves all those things that you kind of need as a director to understand. And so yeah, I love working with him. He's not, he's one of those directors who's oftentimes really hands off. Like he just lets you kind of do your thing, and then if he sees you going astray or if it's not the vision he wants, he'll kind of chime in on something. And he's one of those great directors who'll give me like some small note, but it can change everything in the scene. So I just love him as a person. I love him as an artist. I love collaborating with him. There's nobody who makes me laugh harder. There's nobody who's more fun on a set. He is a one of a kind. He is one of one. Ryan Murphy is. So I always kind of jump at the chance to get to work with him.
Hi, Matt. My name is Luca. So I've read your interview where you talked about not being given the role of Superman because of your sexual preferences. And I've also learned about many other gay actors having to hide their sexuality in order to be given any kind of role. So my question was, how did it affect you? And most importantly, do you think the industry is still rooted in homophobia, or is there some kind of progression going on? Thank you.
Thank you. It's a hard question to answer because I understand what you're saying, the sentiment you're saying. That's actually not what I said. If you ever listen to the interview, the challenging thing about answering any kind of question like this is that the press will chop up everything I say down to one word and make it whatever headline they want to make it, whether I said it or not, just to be clickbait so that they get more views of their interviews. So I don't really discuss it anymore. It's something that happened over 20 years ago. Obviously affected me, and I want to look forward, not back. I don't want to think of myself in context of like where we are, where we're going. All I want to do is think of myself as an actor going forward, honestly, and not think about where I lie in the grand scheme of things. And I understand your interest, and we could talk about it and sidebar about it for hours, but I just have to be really careful speaking about it publicly because journalists are so desperate for headlines and content that they will bastardize every single thing I say about it and then try to turn it into some victim story. And I don't think of myself as a victim. I'm actually really grateful that I didn't play Superman because I think it's such an iconic role that it's very hard for anyone to divorce their idea of you as an actor from that role. I feel like even though I have a lot more money, my career has been a lot more varied and I've gotten to do a lot more different characters because I didn't play a role like that. So, thank you.
Se non ci sono più domande, I would like to close this conversation with an advice to them, to all of them who are starting to walk the path of cinematic art. Which is your advice for these young students? To to pursue this career?
Well, you live in a very interesting time. When I was your age and I was in school, there wasn't a camera on your phone. You know, it's a whole new world out there for you because you can be the masters of your own content. You can be generative of your own content. All I could do was do a play off Broadway with my friends that we put together. You can put something out on, you know, the internet or YouTube or whatever that the whole world can see. So I would say, do your best while you can to not just wait on the industry, but also continue to challenge yourself and educate yourself. Even when I was starting out in the industry, whether that means, you know, you're making something that you put out online or just going to a class and continuing to study. Even when I was doing jobs that I wasn't that crazy about when I was first starting out, I made sure that I stayed in acting class with great actors in New York so that I was continuing to grow as an actor and learn the craft. I think we're so lucky it's a craft that you can spend a whole lifetime learning. And I don't, you know, for me, I don't feel like you really even start to understand or have some real agency over what you're doing unless you're a prodigy until you've been doing it for quite some time. So I would say if it's what you love, just stay with it as well. When I was young and I was about to give up because I just didn't like the jobs I was getting in things, sometimes it's right in that darkest place where then opportunity comes through. So just stay with it, keep studying, keep creating your own content so that when the door is open for you and you have an opportunity, you're prepared for it. Yeah, and I wish you all luck. I hope I get to work with you, and I hope that I get to watch you all shine. And it's an amazing new day and an amazing new age out there where you can really take charge of your own career. So I wish you all the best with that.
Mat Bomer.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Also, I wanted to tell you, Leche is one of Jonathan Bailey's favorite places. And I was going to go to Leche after here, but I have to go back for work. But he loves Leche. So whoever's studying in Leche, Jonathan Bailey loves your town. Bye. Thank you. Lots of love to all of you.
Grazie.